Yo, guys! I like boss fights, so let's rank all of them. First things first, I am basing my ranking on each boss's mechanics and how challenging they are. And also, for most of them, I will be talking about them as if they are in their nightmare form. I will take each one of them in chronological order. Therefore, we are starting straight with Omukade from Control 3. And yes, she is treated like a boss fight, apparently. Don't even ask me. But firstly, let's focus on the Mimic Classic one. And I can't put it anywhere else but in the I'm punching my screen tier. Might be a skill issue on my part, or just my lack of experience. Because, let's be serious, who even plays the Mimic Classic nowadays? But I can't finish this boss fight without dying a couple of times. And let's not forget that the map is very small, so she can make a full marathon in under 15 seconds before coming back where you last saw her, giving you less time to solve the skull puzzles. Everything is so narrow and dark you can't even see her. And when you do, it's already too late. And oh my God, I hate it when I think I'm safe and she just chooses to karate jump on me, or when she randomly slaps me with her tail. Now moving on to the present, we have Omukade after the revamp of Control 3. Yes, she is literally one of the fastest enemies in the Mimic, but the map is way larger compared to the previous one, giving you more time to solve the puzzles. Her body is more flexible, so when she turns, you won't be randomly slapped by her most of the time. And for me, she is clearly an easier version, and you can only die to her if you're impatient. She goes in the just easy tier. And the next in line would have been my lifelong trauma if I was playing the Mimic around that time. I'm talking about old Sama from Sama's Heart's Labyrinth. Maybe most of you won't count this as a boss fight, but she has a health bar, so I don't care. As I said, I wasn't playing the Mimic during her old variant, but I can tell by the footage I've seen and from her current version that she was a pain in the ass to deal with. First of all, she had 7 hearts scattered around the whole map. Like hell, I can't even deal with all 3 she has now. And second of all, her chase theme would give me a heart attack like... Holy. I have no idea how people used to finish this chapter back then. If it was me, I would pee and poop my pants at the same time. No wonder she got nerfed. A literal god tier, no doubt. Speaking of nerfing, we have Sama in her heart's lair after the revamp. Now she only has 3 hearts instead of 7, which is great. Now you also have to listen to her humming to know how close she is to you, instead of her maniac laugh she used to have, which is a great opportunity for her chase theme to blast in your ears and give you a heart attack. I know I insisted with the nerf thing, but I'm still a scaredy cat when it comes to completing this part of the chapter. It still doesn't change the fact that it's a pain in the ass to beat her, but the pain is not that big compared to her old version. Therefore, she falls into the I'm punching my screen tier. We are moving now to, technically, the first boss fight in the Mimic, which is Saigomo at the end of Control 4. And, oh my god, this boss fight is awful. Where do I even start? Her first phase is literally just boring. She is slow and boring. The background music is slow and boring. My worst enemy isn't even Kintoru, but the fact that I might fall asleep while beating her. During her second phase at least she is faster, so I'm not falling asleep anymore, and the music is an absolute banger. But those are the only good things. She has a bunch of attacks, but all of them are easy to dodge by using the same brainless technique, which is to just move to the left or to the right. And yeah, she can trap you for some seconds in her web when she roars, but just move and you will be fine. Also, sometimes she decides not to roar for a long time, so you can't properly hit her. And also, let's not forget how horrible her hitbox is. It takes like 10 sword hits just for one to register. Oh yeah, you can also heal by eating butterflies or something. I don't really know what Yasu was doing here. If you are in a solo walkthrough, this boss fight is a nightmare, not because of how hard it is, but because of how unfair and long it can sometimes be. It's not a challenge, it's just an annoying mess. Which really sucks because Kintoru is my favorite character in the Mimic, as you can tell. But I have to put this boss fight in the Mei tier. Alright, let's get into the jealousy book, and now the bosses are getting way cooler and just better overall. So the first on our list is Nagisa's first phase from Jealousy 2. And yes, I'll talk about her 2 phases separately. And to be honest, I have to put her in the beating it with my eyes closed tier. Here's the thing. This boss fight is interesting and unique nonetheless, but there is not a lot going on with it. All you need to do is to get cannonballs and shoot at her while she is attacking your boat. And let's be serious, Nagisa only manages to sink the boats of new players. Even her laser attack thing, which is the only attack that damages the player directly, is easily dodged by just going to the other side of the ship. To understand how easy this boss fight is, we need to know the fact that they literally had to give her a second phase after the Nightmare Mode update of the chapter. So now we are moving on to Nagisa's second form. She is more aggressive and now she is focused on killing the player instead of destroying the boat. But with a basic knowledge of her attacks, you will find yourself staying half of the time in the same spot at one side of the boat while waiting for her to come somewhat close to you so you can attack her. It's nothing that crazy, and most of the time she can't even hit you. Except when she jumps over the boat, that thing always hits me. But the good part is that the health slowly regenerates over time, which makes the fight way easier. If there was no regeneration, I would have put her in the Mei tier, but overall it's just an easy boss fight. And now here comes the literal goddess and the dream woman of every Mimic player. I'm talking about Yurei from Jealousy 3, and there is no other place for her but in the A Literal God tier. She is clearly one of the hardest bosses from the Mimic, and she also has a lot of attack variations. During her first phase, she can teleport and tries to punch or stomp on you. But when she reaches half of her health, oh god, this is where the fun begins. She gets new abilities, such as a tree that regenerates her health, a spinning shit that drains half of your health, the vines that come from the ground, and which are always going into my ass. And of course, we can't forget about her secret ability, which is jumping like crazy around the map until she leaves the arena, which forces you to replay this whole long-ass chapter. Jokes aside, Yurei is a very well-done boss fight, which provides an intense and challenging battle. I really like the idea of getting a bunch of swords from the arena and throwing them into Yurei to damage her. You always have to constantly move, and there is also no way to regenerate your health. You also have unlimited stamina in solo, but with a squad your stamina can drain though. But Yurei switches her target pretty often, so it's not a huge problem. Except for when your entire team dies during the boss fight, leaving you alone with the Forest Lady and limited stamina. I wouldn't wish this experience on anyone. Also, I feel like ranking her normal mode too, since it's an easier version, and you have to beat her without dying. Which is interesting, but you have unlimited tries, which is good. For the casual player, she might be a bit of a challenge, but us, the Mimic Sweats, the Just Easy tier is perfect for her. Now we are moving to the actual god of the Jealousy book, the guy that you only saw in cutscenes, or on a raft, for 3 whole chapters. And of course, it's Enzukai, the beast who waited centuries underwater and now wants to conquer Tokyo, or all of Japan, or the whole world, or maybe he just wants to make his daddy proud. Anyways, I have no idea what his plan actually was. But firstly, let's talk about Enzukai in his dragon form walking around Tokyo. And to be honest, I really love this part of the chapter. It might be one of my favorite parts from the whole game. I really like the idea of destroying the pillars that randomly spawn around the map in order to be able to use your bow, which kind of reminds me of Sama's lair. And I also find it very interesting how you also have to kill the members of the cult. Especially this camping guy, it's really satisfying. Also, Enzukai is clearly the main threat here. He can roam almost around the whole map, and when he sees you, he runs extremely fast towards you. But if you have your bow supercharged, then you instantly become the king of the map, since it makes Enzukai slower than you, until he decides to step on your head. It's not a hard boss fight anyways. I find it super fun, and I like how you have to use your map knowledge in order to not be eaten. The boss fight itself is not very challenging, therefore I must put it in the meh category. So after we made Enzukai cry, he decided to stay still in the middle of Tokyo while awaiting us for a final 1-versus-1 confrontation. Actually 1 versus 2, since our brother randomly spawns sometimes to kill us. And, I don't know why, it's either because Isamu is just a badass, or that Enzukai is extremely weak. But this boss fight is really not that hard. He only has 3 attacks which can be dodged very easily by staying behind the conveniently placed walls. And the laser thing always has the same pattern, so it's easy to learn to dodge it. All this while trying to shoot down the pillars in order to get supercharged so we can do damage to him. I would have put this fight in the beating it with my eyes closed, but solely because of Senzai, who literally comes to give you a kiss if you don't shoot him in time, I'm putting the final boss of the Jealousy book in the just easy tier. Because we finished with the chapter bosses, it's time to talk about game modes and event bosses, which aren't that many. So next on our list is Chenoo from the Snowy Hell event, and we all know he fully deserves the spot for being a literal god. And I have to admit that this is the only boss fight from the Mimic that I literally couldn't beat all by myself. And I really tried. Doing this boss fight in solo is simply just unfair, since he constantly goes after you and hits you with that ice spike shit right next to you, draining half of your health instantly. And the stupid thing is that you also can't stay too far away from him or else your shotgun bullets won't reach him. And let's not forget that he has a ton of health. Chenoo is clearly a lot easier while beating him with a team, but while doing this tier list, I'm considering fighting the boss in solo, therefore Chenoo deserves the a literal god tier. In the end, the last boss fight we need to talk about is the Ringmaster from Nightmare Circus. And I can't say anything else other than this boss fight is freaking trash. You can dodge all his attacks so easily that even my grandma could beat him. When Ringmaster throws his hands on the arena, there are literally red spots on the map to indicate where he will land his attack. During his balls or laser attack, you can just stay at the edge of the arena. And, by the way, what is this thing with bosses in the Mimic who have a random laser attack out of nowhere? And when he throws his hat on the arena is a bit tricky to dodge, but remember, all of his special attacks are scripted, so you should be good if you have a strategy in mind. Might be an unpopular opinion, but for me, this boss fight is the easiest and most boring boss fight from the whole Mimic. And to be honest, it's really bad, considering that Nightmare Circus is my favorite game mode. Or, it was before they added Ronnie Lantern, because during his event they literally destroyed the whole game mode. Like, I have no idea what was the thought process in downgrading Circus Nightmare. No wonder the game mode is currently closed. Anyways, I just can't put the Ringmaster anywhere else but in the beating it with my eyes closed tier, right next to Nagisa. At least Nagisa is not boring. Now we have reached the end, and this is the tier list that we got. Thank you for watching and see you in another day. I don't know when either.